I'm so glad to be talking to Gail. And help me with your last name, Miyaguchi?
Miyaguchi, that's right.
Miyaguchi. And Gail's going to be doing a wonderful, and she's participating with a wonderful fiber arts workshop that is going on at Kāʻanapali Beach Hotel starting on Wednesday and going through Saturday. And this is not your typical weaving workshop. It's much more in depth than you usually would find. And that's why I wanted you to call in, Gail, because this is really I was just fascinated. I was talking to Cheryl there at the Kāʻanapali Beach Hotel, and she was telling me about it, and I went, this is just too good not to talk about and learn more about, because I think we all appreciate, and we've seen museum pieces, and we've seen wonderful weaving before, but a lot of us don't know what goes into it, what goes behind it, the cultural aspects, and different ways it can be used. So how did you get involved in this special event?
Well, actually, I started weaving lauhala many, many years ago, and my kumu actually, started a conference in Kona. So she would always encourage all the Maui people to, you guys should have a conference on Maui. And then, many, many years later, I was fortunate enough to get a job here at Kāʻanapali Beach Hotel, and that's when, the light went on again, about having this lauhala conference. And I'm just so lucky to work at this hotel that's very supportive of, cultural things. And, so that's how it all started. And then the conference itself actually starts today. We're going to do a huaka'i out to Pailoko Learning Center to plant what's called makaloa. It's a native, I guess you could call it a sedge that was used for weaving a very long time ago. And we don't see much of that type of weaving these days because of the limited resources. And so our idea is to go ahead and plant makaloa so that hopefully next year we'll be able to weave with it.
Tell me a little more about what this is. I've never heard of that before. So can you explain what that, and I can't even pronounce it, makaloa?
Yes, makaloa, yeah. So it's a sedge that grows in marshy areas. I believe we have some here on Maui at Kanaha, but the optimal makaloa for weaving, we would like it to be, 3 feet long. So we're going to try different things to try and see if we can, get makaloa that is that, good for weaving. Yeah.
So where are you going to plant it there?
So we built this little area. Sunday we prepared a spot to hope simulate marsh and plant the makaloa there.
Wow, interesting. Now, is this a special strength to this particular plant that gives it a good, or is it the flexibility? What makes it ideal for weaving?
So it's a very, it's like a grass. So it's very fine weaving. So the mats that are woven with that is very, very soft and very fine weaving. So we have samples of this type of weaving in the Bishop Museum, and I think the famous one is hanging there on the wall that has actually messages woven into the mat.
Wow, how wonderful! Just like you would do yarn weavings, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, do these get dyed, or are they always natural colors?
They can be dyed, yes. So the lauhala they have darker colors and lighter colors, but that was all natural. So there are certain plants that have dark leaves, and then you have ones that have lighter leaves, depending on which tree or Pū Hala it comes from. So so you can use the dark and light to create different different looks, I guess you could say. Yeah.
That's very
interesting.
interesting.
So we have a class here. One of the couple of kumu are teaching what's called anoni, and that's when you see the different colored lauhala woven into the works.
Now, we know it, most everyone has seen, the hats, and people have seen beautiful baskets. I mean, I think I've seen really lovely baskets in museums, and Theo Morrison, of course, has done some beautiful baskets. And when we see them done beautifully, it's just pretty amazing. I really literally do see the artwork when it happens like that.
Yeah, so, it just so happens that we have a really good sample of ʻIeʻie weaving at the Bailey House Museum right now. There's an exhibition there of some of the kumu that are teaching at our conference. They had a cohort, so there's a really, if anyone has a chance to, I recommend going to the Bailey House Museum to see the exhibit. It's going to be running through December.
That I have to go. It's right up the street. I didn't know that.
Yes,
I'm so glad you told me.
You should definitely check it out. Yeah, so we're going to have ʻIeʻie weaving here, and we're also going to have Kōkō pu'u, the knotting network that's used to carry, gourds and bowls. And then we will also have someone teaching how to make upena, the net. So the net backing to make capes.
Wow, okay.
So
I had never thought or heard of that before. So the ancient capes used the weaving and then put the feathers over that?
Yes. So first you have to make the base, which is the netting, and then you would tie the little feather bundles onto that netting.
You are really an expert. I'm impressed, Gail. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I love to weave lauhala and ʻIeʻie as a hobby, and then I was my job was actually I used to make hula instruments, so I love to work with my hands. So I just love any kind of handicraft.
As far as time consuming, I mean, we all know, about knitting. We know about weaving to a degree. But is this like to do a piece that you're happy with? How long does it take to typically, and I know it depends on the size, but how long do you spend on a piece?
Well, if you could work on it, from morning to night, it would, of course, take much quicker. But, in our lives today, we can only set aside a few hours, during the week. So, for example, the piece that we did with ʻIeʻie, we did it over a 6-month period.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's serious time, yeah.
Yeah.
So this conference is rather intensive, and I know people already have come in and signed up for the heavy-duty conference, but there are a lot of things that are not in the conference that people can go and visit there, right?
Absolutely, yes. So starting tomorrow, from 8 to 5, we will have kumu in the lobby area that will be teaching different types of fiber arts. We'll have beginning lauhala bracelets. We'll have somebody teaching how to work with coconut sennit. Colleen is actually going to teach people how to make coconut sennit earrings. I'm really excited about. I want to take this class.
Explain what that is. So. Tell me, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
So when you husk the coconut and those little hairy fibers, the red fibers?
Yeah.
So that you take that off and you clean it, and then you can weave with that. So that's also very fine work.
So that's like threads then, almost like heavy threads.
Kind of like, kind of stiff threads, yes.
Wow. And then do you have needles that are used for that heavier threads?
No. It's all just, rolling and twisting, and we don't use any needles for that.
And they make earrings out of those?
Yes, so she's going to teach how to actually weave with it, attach it to the post, I guess, and then I believe she said she was going to somehow be able to attach like a black pearl onto that.
Wow!
Yeah,
how amazing would that be?
Yeah.
And I have some. When I was in Tahiti, I bought a bunch of those pearls. You get at the wharfs and the piers. And a lot of them fell off their stuff because I got them pretty cheap. I have a lot of loose pearls. I'd sure like to do. To do that.
Come on by.
I would love to do that. You can. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then we have a lot of other things too. We're going to have a kapa maker. She's going to demonstrate how kapa is made, and also ohe kapala. And then we have Jacob, who's going to be teaching how to make cordage out of a plant. It's called hau. So he's going to actually be demonstrating how, to process the hau. You have to peel the bark and strip it. And so we have that. And then we also have a a tool maker who's going to be selling all the tools that you need to weave. So he's going to have hat blocks, and they're called lauhala strippers, and all kinds of cool things.
So you have to explain the last two, because I've never heard of the last two things you said that we were doing there. You were doing.
Okay. So a hat block are the wooden...
Well, I know that, but you were saying two things before that were the...
Okay. The strippers,
yes.
They're called koi. They're like a little block of wood with razors in them, and then they're used to strip the leaf so that they're long strips that are of equal size.
And the how, I don't know what, and I probably...
how?
Yeah.
How is a plant that we collect for making cordage, like ropes, different types of ropes.
And I probably am out, because I walk every day, and I walk up an ʻIeʻie, and I walk at Kanaha, and I don't even know these plants. So there is that education of finding out the wealth of plants that are right around us that we need to know about to create these things, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's all part of the learning process. How when to harvest, how to clean it and prepare the material before you actually go ahead and start working with it.
Is it better to have these plants dried or fresh and green?
Well, I guess it depends. We're also having a coconut frond weaver coming. So with coconut fronds, you want to weave while it's green.
Uh-huh.
Like the lauhala, you want it when it's dried. So it depends what you're going to be making and what you're working with.
Uh-huh. So now a lot of these things are going on right in the lobby there, in the hotel lobby?
Yes.
And
yes.
It's free, right? There's no charge for
yes.
some.
Yes.
Wow.
So you just have to pay the kumu for the materials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Now there's a big deal going on that everyone's invited to on Saturday as well, right?
Yes. So that's our event dinner. And we will have some really great entertainment. Kamehameha School's ensemble is going to be entertaining and kahalavai. And we will also have the silent auction. So that, if you always wanted to own a lauhala hat, that might be something you might want to come check out.
And there's one thing to just learning how to do it, which is an art in itself, and then comes the creative ideas and designs, like this idea of making coconut fronds earrings with the pearl on it. And then do you get to that point where you're going, well, wonder if I could do this or that, and you get where the art comes in, right? Where the creative spirit comes in. You want to experiment more, don't you?
Oh, of course. Yes, definitely. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's where the craft fair is really, comes into play. You can see how creative all these artists are, and you can talk with them, ask them how things are made, and they will also be available for purchase as well.
And it's come a long ways from what we've seen as always like this guy hawking his, his hat on the sidewalk or something, or out at Lahaina, versus the real art of doing it, which is what you're getting to in depth here this week. On Saturday, do you know what time that starts on Saturday?
So the silent auction starts at 2 and it closes at 7. The dinner itself, doors open at 5:30.
And there'll be entertainment there as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so that's in the main room there, right? The main.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that one, tickets are still available, so you can either come find me to get a ticket, or you can go online at Kauluhiwaolele.com.
Or you can go to, maybe you can go to KBHMaui.com.
Sure, yes.
And I
that's
guess
easier to remember.
Yeah, it's easier to remember. And you can't misspell that.
And then look for our cultural, look for the cultural button, click on that, and then it'll take you to the event.
And you can also call this number
yes.
to get tickets, 667-0219. And
yes.
if you're driving, I'll repeat that, 667-0219. And again, one of the other places you can go for information is kbhmaui.com. Now, have you created a site for yourself? Do you have a website that people can go and find out about you at?
Me? Gail?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. Okay. But you know what, Gail? You have a wealth of information. No, I'm just fascinated with your wealth of information, and I'm so impressed. And so these weavers, I mean, have they formed a group? Is there one site was that the first site you mentioned that might be about a good site to go to find out more about weaving? Or where do you go when you want to find out more about weaving?
This conference is like the perfect place to come to get information on weaving.
Yeah.
And there's also a Hala conference in Kona once a year. But this is the place if you want to come and meet weavers, this is the place.
I'm just so happy this is happening because I love the Hula Ona Keiki, which is coming up in November, and I love some of the great steel guitar events that happen there at Kāʻanapali Beach Hotel. But this is just what makes Kāʻanapali Beach Hotel Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel, Maui's most Hawaiian hotel, because there are events like this that are really wonderful events that you normally wouldn't get a chance to experience. And when I was talking to Cheryl, you know Cheryl, right, in the PR department there?
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
I mean, she started talking about this, and I went, this is amazing. I mean, this is really a great thing. And I just really said, I have to get the word out about this because a lot of people wouldn't realize this is going on for free. And that's one of the things I love. I love free, and I love things that are cultural. And this is also a chance to have one-on-one with some of the teachers, the artisans, and get inspired. And, what could be nicer than to actually get out there and create your own piece and get yourself started on a new path of being able to do this? We have about a minute or two left, but what started you in this?
Well, I just love to work with my hands and create things with my hands. So that's my main. And then, we are the goal of the conference is actually to create more kumu. Especially here on Maui. So that's the goal, to get more people interested in the art and to have them study to become kumu so that they can eventually go ahead and teach others.
And there's so many beautiful people have passed. I mean, I remember Joanne Sterling with the beautiful feather lace she used to make, and what an artist she was. And there are some, but that's a lot of work. Do you ever find that people are making hokus out of these weavings? Do they ever make those? I love those, and they're so expensive. But do you ever see people starting to weave and a lei to wear in your head?
Yes. Well, people, a lot of times people, the crowning class that everyone wants to take is the papale, is the hat. And so once they make their hat, then they can, a lot of times, I've seen people be very creative in decorating, putting the
plants, feathers, flowers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing how it can be the cherry on the top of the chocolate
that's what
sundae.
It is, the cherry on the top. Yeah.
Well, it's just a treat to talk to you, Gail. I'm so enchanted with what you're doing and what's happening out there, and I think it's fantastic. And so I applaud the work that's being done by Kāʻanapali Beach Hotel and you and all the weavers and all the wonderful people who are working in fiber arts. It's a great craft, so I thank you so much for the work you're doing.
You, and maybe we'll see you here.
Yes. And a big aloha to you.
All right. Aloha to you, too.